Yeah.
Throughout the whole day, they're open. And I know certain people that are here with us tonight that have actually, if you just like walk around, don't be surprised if you run into somebody who works here and says, hey, you want to go and learn some things? They love it. And what a lot of people don't realize is how many of you ever been on any of our tours? One of the things is that Fairhaven Cemetery contacted us to do this. We didn't ask them. They actually came to us because they've taken our tours and they were like, we want people to come here. And so when we decided to do the tour, they actually spent a couple of months with us. We ride around a golf cart and stuff like that, picking the places people that we were going to talk about. But this is an absolutely beautiful place. I strongly encourage you because quite literally, you never know what the history is beneath your feet. And I talked to a couple people inside the mausoleum. The Irvine family is buried here. There are many others, including there's one really quickly before we get going. I'd like to give Rhonda a head start. Look at her just trucking across the ground. Thank you! I swear I'm nothing without her on here, okay? But the one thing is very it's a little bit of a sad story, and I wanted to put him on our original tour. They wanted us to put him on the tour. The only thing is that he is way on the other side of the cemetery, over onto right next to the fence way on the road right here. His name is Clyde Bruckman, and he was a silent movie writer, and he wrote for Buster Keaton and stuff like that. And he didn't make the transition to puppets. It just didn't translate well for what he did. And he actually left a nice note for the LA Police Department of where to find his body. He shot himself with Buster Keaton's gun. Buster Keaton actually later said he was absolutely devastated because I asked him, can I borrow your gun? I want to use it to go hunting. Then he shot himself with it the next day. Buster Keaton never got it. Now, there is one practice for burial that is not done here, and that is, it's actually extremely popular now, is burial shrouds. You can actually go online and order one. You gotta let them know roughly how much you weigh and your height. And it's made for you, and it gets delivered, okay? Not Amazon, okay? And you take it and you actually just put it under your bed or someplace where your family members know where it's at. And when you pass, all you have to do is call these people up, and you get placed into the shroud right there, and they carry you out and they take you to private property where you are buried with no casket, no nothing. You can actually pick like a certain grove of trees, and it has to be on private property, and it cannot be within cities. But this is actually part of people trying to become more aware of the environment. This is a very clean way of doing so, because surprise guys, you are 100% completely biodegradable. Okay? Even the shroud itself is biodegradable.
gonna bury us under a tree.
Oh, cool.
We'll feed the tree.
Yeah.
Now, one of the things that's interesting is we're making our way. Is when you look at the silhouettes of the trees, all the different types of trees that are here. And one of the things that was very interesting is when we were originally designing this tour, I brought all the other guides and we went on the first, I led the first tour and it was just my guides in the cemetery south. And then I found out that night, has anybody here been on the Black Star tour with Joel? Yeah. Joel does a tour here of the Memorial Park where all he does is talk about the trees and the animals here. And that's also offered, that's actually offered free. Oh, the tarantula on a trail? Yeah. Was he wearing shoes? No. I can't get Joel to wear shoes.
Hopefully this turns out better than what it looks like on here. It's a little... Yeah. Man, it goes down your chest, huh?
Yeah. It's really helps.
Really?
No,
I know.
This is William Spurgeon. He actually traveled from California to Missouri several times. And on one of these little trips, almost 100 acres of the Rancho Santiago de Santa Ana, Mexican land grant. And he sets up a general store and a post office. And there they start the small town of Santa Ana. This is Spurgeon. He will also set up the first major water to be brought in. But one of my favorite stories is this guy hates mustard plants like you wouldn't believe. Which, if you live in California, you know they grow everywhere. And he hates them. And so when he gets here, there are mustard plants everywhere. So the first thing he does is he carves out this huge road of these mustard plants. And he starts planting sycamore trees. What road? You guys know North Main and Santa Ana? Those those sycamore trees? Those are the sycamore trees that he planted. He will also become the first county supervisor here. And for people who are not familiar with Spurgeon himself, in Santa Ana, you're definitely familiar with this famous clock tower. Now the reason Rhonda is with us right now is because Rhonda is actually standing next to Oliver Housel's wife. Oliver Housel's wife was actually a Spurgeon. This whole area right down here are the Housel family and the Spurgeon family. The founders of Santa Ana and this memorial. Now, we have time for one more, so please, come on. So I thought we would end tonight on something actually a little light. This is actually one of my favorites. It's at Memorial Park. This is Douglas Corrigan. Born in 1907 in Galveston, Texas. As a young man, he was an aeronautical genius. And he was in San Diego, helping design and work on a plane known as the Gold Bug. It was later moved and repainted silver and became the Spirit of St. Louis. And in a plane of his own design, he took off from Long Beach and flew non-stop to New York. And he was supposed to fly non-stop from New York to Long Beach. He took off one night in New York and landed in Ireland. Now, he claimed navigational error. And by the time he got it all straightened out and figured out exactly where it was too late to go back. Had to keep going. In reality, he originally filed a flight plan to go to Ireland and was denied. But when he came back to the United States, they gave him a ticker tape parade. And he went down in history as Wrong Way Corrigan. And until the day he died, he never admitted that he did it on purpose. So, this is where I leave you. Does anybody have any questions about anybody that we talked about or anything? No? I want to thank you all very much for coming tonight. And again, come on by anytime, especially when the gates are open. Don't hop them. Because you never know what kind of history you might find at your feet. I want to thank you so much for joining us. You may leave your lanterns right here on the curb. And please, wherever you came from, I ask you to drive home safely. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
Yes. Hopefully it comes out better than it looks on my screen.
Oh.
Ah.
We're gonna